Hi everyone, today we are talking about some amazing dupes for some very high-end luxury products, some of which are relatively new to the market, others have been around for quite some time, and most of them feature on my skin today. So I've done half of my face with some of the dupes, half of my face with some of the very high-end luxury makeup. I will let you decide which one you think is more expensive than the other, and seriously, one half of my face is a lot more expensive than the other half. But see if you can guess and I will let you know at the end of this video. I've been researching this video for quite some time. I've been covered from head to toe with swatches, but I'm really happy with the final choices. So we are going to get straight on with it. If you're new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload new content on YouTube every single week. I would love it if at some point in this video you are finding it helpful or entertaining. Please consider clicking on the like button, the subscribe button, and don't forget to click on that notification bell so you don't miss any more videos like this one. Not all of the products that feature in this video have been applied to my skin prior to filming because I have 3 different blush dupes to share with you today and I didn't really want to be applying all 3 to my face in one go. I'm a blush girl, but I wouldn't go that far. So instead, for every single product, I will show you the swatches for both the dupe and the high-end products side by side in natural lighting, just so you can see the difference in both consistency and also shade as well. So there's no skincare in this video. I am really strict with the word dupe when it comes to skincare. The ingredients have to be pretty much identical or at least extremely similar. The consistency, the way it feels on the skin, and also what it does for the skin have to be extremely similar, and I am very strict with myself about that. I am not as strict when it comes to makeup, so it has to look the same on the skin and it has to have a very similar wear time on the skin as well. You shouldn't be able to tell the difference when the makeup is side by side, and I think you can definitely say both sides of my face look pretty identical, so I'm hoping you think I've done a good job in today's video. Let's get on with it. Firstly, let's talk about a product that has just come on the market and in my opinion is a very close dupe for my favourite face primer, the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas Primer. I love this stuff. I love everything about it. I love the fact that it's not too runny. It's just runny enough so it doesn't make it cumbersome because it doesn't run all over the place. It still holds its shape on the back of the hand, but it spreads out really nicely. It soaks into the skin really easily, and it doesn't leave that oily slip on the surface of the skin that makes you feel like your makeup's just going to slide off. This does hold on to your face products, and for me it definitely makes my face products last a little bit longer. But the main thing about a face primer for me is that it airbrushes out the pores, leaving your skin feeling really smooth, and that is definitely what this does. So just everything is perfected. I wear my foundation without a primer. It looks really nice, but I wear it with this primer, it looks even better. Recently, e.l.f. has come out with what I can only say is just genius. This is their Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. Now, I know a lot of people are big fans of the Poreless original putty primer. I thought it was a little bit too stiff for me. I didn't like spreading it on the skin and it felt a little bit suffocating for me. This, completely different. Just like the Tatcha, this is a really nice liquidy consistency. Again, holds its shape, but as soon as you apply it to the skin, it sinks in really nicely and it's very easy to spread and absorbs very quickly. This also doesn't leave an oily residue on the surface of the skin, leaves your skin feeling incredibly smooth, and airbrushes out the pores. Very lightweight, doesn't feel suffocating, also feels quite hydrating on the skin. Love. It is phenomenal. It really is, and for a fraction of the cost. So both of these, I believe you get 30 mils. Am I right? No, I'm not. So you get 30 grams or 1 ounce of the Tatcha. You get 28 mils, which is the same as 28 grams of the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Liquid Primer. So you're getting slightly less, but the price difference is a lot. So if you haven't tried this already and you love this one, or you've always wanted to try this one but you just couldn't stretch, definitely recommend you get your hands on this one and give it a go because, you know, Got it on my skin today, as well as the Tatcha. You cannot tell a difference. Both sides are perfect. Both sides, my pores are airbrushed. Not one side is more emphasized than the other, and both sides feel the same. Moving on to the NARS blush in the shade Orgasm, which is their signature shade. I love this. I picked it up out of my drawer the other day and used it for the first time in a really long time, and actually thought to myself, why have I not been using this more often? It is so pretty. It's a corally pink shade with a slight gold shimmer, and the gold shimmer isn't too chunky. It's a really nice shimmer on the cheek. You don't go outside and look like a disco ball. It's not one of those shades, so it's not frighteningly sparkly, but the sparkle is definitely there. And because of that sparkle, you can use this as a blush and also use it as your highlight as well, because it just reflects the light superbly on the cheek. And for me, who's lazy and doesn't like to use a blush and a highlighter, this is just perfection. But I have found a more affordable alternative, and it comes from the brand that I'm not quite sure if this is only available in the UK or whether it's just Europe and the UK. This is from Collection, and it's simply called Highly Pigmented Shimmer Blush Compact with Mirror. Very simple. Anyway, side by side, you will notice that there is a slight difference in the pan. So the Collection product is slightly pinkier, whereas there's more of a corally hue to the NARS product. However, on the cheek, they look identical. There is a very similar consistency to this product as well, very similar blendability. The Collection product, though, is slightly less pigmented, as are most really affordable products, and this is a seriously really affordable product. It is slightly more challenging to get the colour payoff, so you do have to build this up. It's not a one swipe product. You do have to go in for a second pass to get as much punch as the NARS product. So just getting that out there. Once you build it up, identical. Moving on to another blush, as we have so many to get through in this video. This one is from Gucci, and if you are a regular to my channel, you will probably be bored of me banging on about this blush because it has been one of my favourite blushes for quite some time. In fact, I think it featured in my top spot of my 2022 blush favourites. Don't quote me on that though. I need to go back and rewatch that video. If it didn't feature in the top spot, it was definitely up for the running of top blush of 2022. Stunning blush. This feels like velvet in the pan but goes on like silk. Very smooth to the cheek. It's got great pigmentation and yet it's not difficult to blend. It doesn't clump up in patches. It's just so easy and very beginner friendly. Also, very easy to diffuse the edges of this blush so it looks incredibly natural. That way you don't get those lines up the face. It's just very soft and skin-like. This is the shade 04 in Bright Coral, and I feel like I have a match, not in absolutely every single way, so there are slight discrepancies. Rather than this feeling like velvet in the pan, it feels like silk in the pan. It goes on like silk on the face. There is a slight shade discrepancy. One looks slightly oranger than the other. However, side by side on the cheek, honestly, hand on heart, for me, I did not notice a difference, and I am very aware of shade discrepancies. I noticed them very quickly, could not notice with these, and I will show you the swatches. You be your own judge. Not only do these look incredibly similar, they have a similar sheen on the surface of the skin, they have a similar shade, but they also last an incredibly long amount of time. Both of these blushes are not those sorts of blushes that you have to worry about disappearing and fading into nothingness throughout the day. I would have no qualms in applying these first thing in the morning and not having to look in a mirror throughout the day for fear that they disappeared. These are not those. They have great longevity. You are going to have to build the dupe up a little bit because the pigmentation isn't as good as in the Gucci, but that to me is just a small price to pay for the vast price difference in both of these. Now, once again, This one is a product that you're not going to be able to get if you live in the US. I promise this is the last product that features in this video that's only open to those that live in the UK or possibly Europe as well. Not quite sure about that. It's another one from Collection. This is the Vit Hit Cute Citrus Blusher, and it is in the shade Pink Grapefruit 1. Love it. It's a great product. Yes, it needs building up because it's not got as much pigmentation, but hey, it's not a big deal. Let's move on to this cult classic, the Chanel Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. I had the original of this, which then got reformulated. I then bought the universal shade, which in my opinion, quite honestly, I thought was slightly too orangey in undertone, which meant that unless it was the height of summer, I didn't get a lot of use out of it. And then they brought out a new shade, which is the shade 392 Tan Medium Bronze, which even though is deeper than the universal shade, I love this and I think it suits my skin so much better. I use this a lot and it still has the swirl intact because I don't use a lot of it. It's not one of those creamy products that's really wet. It's got quite a dry cream finish, which is very difficult to explain, but if you've tried this, you will know what I mean. Very easy to blend, really easy to diffuse. Again, it diffuses just like a powder bronzer, which I still, mind blown, don't understand how it does it. But there is an alternative. If you are a member of Beauty Pie, Beauty Pie came out with their very own cream bronzer product, the Awesome Bronze Sun-Kissed Bronzing Cream, which is so similar. So similar. Not only in shade, but also consistency, wearability, blendability, longevity. I mean, they are incredibly similar in every single way. I have no words. Now, this is only going to be an affordable dupe for you if you are already a member of Beauty Pie, because although you can buy these if you're not a member of Beauty Pie, you have to pay the full price, which actually I think is probably going to cost you more than the Chanel bronzer to buy outright. So if you are a member of Beauty Pie and you can get your hands on this, highly recommend that you do, because in my opinion, this blends out better than the Chanel, and that is saying something because the Chanel bronzer blends out like a dream. Again, have these on my skin today. Which side is which? Let you make your mind up. I'm going to tell you in a minute. Moving on to the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand in the shade Pinkgasm. If I'm being completely honest, I was trying to find a dupe for the Peachgasm shade because that is my favourite shade out of the two. I just think it's slightly more muted, a little softer, whereas this one has a lot of punch to it. And because of that punch, you need the tiniest amount, and sometimes it's very, very easy to go overboard with this and apply too much. Whereas the Peachgasm, you can blend it out so easily and quickly. Unfortunately, anyway, I couldn't find a dupe for Peachgasm, but I have definitely found a dupe for Pinkgasm, and it comes again from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand Blush in the shade Rosé You Slay, and it is so similar side by side. The shades, you would not notice a difference when they are on the cheek. The shimmer to this, again, very, very similar. Just love, love, love everything about both of these. Slightly easier to apply the Charlotte Tilbury because the wand, the little sponge applicator, is bigger on the Charlotte Tilbury than it is on the e.l.f. Halo Glow, but I like to apply these on the backs of my hand first anyway and then apply them with a brush. Very rarely apply these directly to the cheek because they are both incredibly punchy with the pigment, so again, very easy to over apply. The other differences with these is the Charlotte Tilbury has a lock mechanism on the product. So if you do like to take these away with you on holiday, there is a way of sealing the product. So if you have this in your luggage, you know it's not going to just break and go all over the place. Whereas the Halo Glow, even though it has a twist screw cap, which I think is more secure than the Charlotte Tilbury, this doesn't have a lock. Both of these are a very similar consistency. They take around about the same amount of time to blend out. They are really, really effective. Very nice and glowy on the cheeks. Once again, you can use this as not only a blush, but also a highlighter as well. And newsflash, I prefer the e.l.f. And I'm not quite sure why. I just think it looks a little bit more natural. I can't pinpoint any specifics about the product, about the consistency or anything like that, but I just sway towards the Halo Glow rather than the Glowgasm. And I think you'll be surprised at which one is which, because I think one side of my face looks way more expensive, and it's not the expensive side. Giving you hints. So I wanted to leave this next product till last because I wanted to give it time on my face before I showed you this situation that's going on here. Because although I found a dupe for this product that is a relatively new release from a very high-end brand, I think that the affordable version is head and shoulders above this, because I just cannot abide when this happens, and I have no idea why it happens. I thought it was something to do with maybe my body chemistry, that some lipsticks just didn't suit me and others did. Maybe I thought it was something to do with dehydration or too much hydration in the lips, but I treated my lips completely the same today, and I've got one lipstick on one side, one lipstick on the other. Both of them look the same, both of them feel the same, but I have this line that has developed not after that much time, and yes. Anyway, we are going to talk about the Charlotte Tilbury, I don't even know what these are called, Airbrush Blur liquid lipsticks. I really like the feel of these. I like the consistency. I like the fact that these don't feel like they fully dry down, so they don't have that very drying feel. But as soon as I tried this for the first time, I sat down and I thought, I've had this on my lips before. I'm sure I've felt this on my lips before. And it is the dupe that I have come up with for you today. There are slight differences, but I'll go into that in just a second. So, my dupe is from, back to front. My dupe is from Revolution, and it's the IRL Whipped Lip Cream. And it's a very, very similar shade. On the swatches, it looks different, but I have both of these on and I don't think you would be able to tell a difference even when they are side by side. So we have the shade Pillow Talk in the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Blur. Still can't remember the name of it. And then we have the shade Espresso Nude in the IRL Whipped Lip Cream. There's a little bit of a difference in the consistency, so it's definitely a creamy yet whipped consistency in the Revolution, and it's quite a very silky smooth yet oilier feel to the Charlotte Tilbury. But when you've applied them to your lips, they feel the same. They both don't dry down 100%. They both feel really creamy, like you've got a really creamy lipstick on rather than a liquid lip. They definitely don't have that squeaky dry feel, which I really like. I don't think either of these are 100% transfer resistant, but both of them give that job a really good go. And in fact, I do think the Revolution is a little bit better at that than the Charlotte Tilbury. So more like a liquid lip in that sense than the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. But both of them, there are no real arguments in that department. Looking at the rest of my face though, I mean, this side is the inexpensive side, and I think it looks more expensive than the side with all the super expensive products on. I mean, hands down, I prefer the dupe side. The only difference is the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. You can see just around my nose area, it's slightly oilier than the side that I had the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas Primer on there. That's the only difference. I don't think there's any difference in size of pores. There's no complaints from this side of the bench. I think some of these dupes are just phenomenal. So that's it for this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Do let me know what you've thought about it in the comment section. Also, please let me know of any other dupes that you may be aware of and list them down below, and I will whiz off and go and buy those, and maybe they'll feature in a video yet to come. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and hope to see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.